Good afternoon, guys. Prydain Da here from northwest Wales on Ynys Môn. So I'm out where I was yesterday, basically on the way to Penmorton Point, just on the shore here, looking out towards, in that direction, to the Great Orme and Llandudno. The camera's pointing a different direction today, over towards the Caneddau and the Glyderau, although you can't actually see them today. It's a bit of an overcast day today. It's a bit gloomy in the old sky, so the light it's very flat, almost no contrast. So what I was going to talk about today was basically how, because of what's happened since everything hit towards the end of March, a lot of things changed overnight for myself, and a lot of things changed overnight for many people, particularly as far as employment goes. So I'm actually a freelance outdoor instructor, and I have been since about the middle of 2015. So I qualified as a mountain leader, and from then on I decided to take the plunge and go fully freelance. At the time, it seemed like a brilliant idea. Oh yeah, work when I want, as much or as little as I want. The aircraft. And take holiday whenever I like. You know, it was that freedom of, if I've worked enough in 1 month, I've earned enough money, then I'll take some time off. And that was the freedom of it, the joy of it. However, what this whole situation has taught me is how insecure that all is. Because overnight I lost all my work, so thousands of pounds worth of work overnight. All my outdoor work just gone or postponed for later in the year. And I'm not very good at saving. I never have been. You know, I'm a bit, you know, I'll spend money on stuff. I like to have things. I think that's because as a child I never had things. I'm from a poor family, and we never had much as kids, so consequently when I started earning my own money, I just wanted to buy things. You know, not very responsible as an adult. I mean, these days I'm a lot better. I'm not buying things left, right and centre, but I still don't save. And this whole pandemic has taught me that. It's taught me a harsh lesson. Although I think I've been very lucky, because whenever I've been struggling financially, I've always been very lucky, and somehow I've managed to survive and get away with it, as it were. And I've often got my friends to thank for that as well. Friends have been there for me, and they're there for me now, again, which is a bonus. So consequently I'm looking for other work right now, because there's no guarantee I will be able to rejoin, I'll recommence, should I say, the freelance work, because it's, you know, nobody knows how that's going to work at the moment. And a lot of freelance work I do involves working with groups of people, whether that's spread out on the mountain or in an underground slate mine environment, which is obviously a confined environment, so no real escape from other people. Even though I said, despite what I said yesterday, you know, about this not really being an issue come later in the year, because I really don't think it will be. However, the government thinks it will be, so therefore companies are towing the line. Anyway. But things will come out in the wash. They always do. Which, if you're not from the UK, that basically means things will work out. Things will work out. They always work out for me in some way. I've had a really tough, well, since last year really, towards the end of last year, I've had a really tough few months, mentally, emotionally. I've been under a lot of stress, a lot of pressure. But I'm coming out of that now, thankfully. I'm generally quite happy at the moment, which is nice. And on that point, I'm doing something today that I always did as a young kid, as a child, and that's birdwatch. I'm a bit of a twitcher. I always have been. My claim to fame is that I met Bill Oddie, although he wasn't very nice to me. He was a bit impatient, nasty man. And yeah, so I've come down today to do some of that bird watching. I've got my binoculars here, and earlier on, I've been here a few hours now after doing some more university study in the car. I was watching a beautiful great crested grebe over that way, which is still there now. It's been here for a couple of hours, just moving backwards, back and forth along the coast, diving, fishing, and I've taken a few shots on the camera. So I've just really enjoyed doing that again. And I am a photographer anyway, but generally landscapes, and my gear isn't fantastic as far as photography goes. I mean, the plan this year was actually to buy a new camera, but obviously that's going to change now because of everything financially. And so the kit I'm using is basically an old Canon SX40 bridge camera. It's only a 12 meg camera. It's got a 35 times optical zoom on it, so it's pretty good for watching birds, because they're obviously usually further out, 100 meters or so out. But I've also hacked this camera so it'll shoot RAW, which basically means not shooting JPEG files, which is what most cameras will do by default. So I've modified it. I've modified the boot sector on the memory card to load up what's called the Canon Hack Development Kit, which is a really useful bit of coding, and you can modify that as the camera boots up so it will shoot RAW automatically. So basically RAW means you've got a lot more control over the final image. So let's say if you underexpose an image, so like today it's pretty dark, so my shots are going to come out quite dark today, but because I've shot in RAW, I've got a lot more dynamic range and a lot more data within that file to push up the exposure in post-processing. Whereas in a JPEG, all that processing generally is done in the camera, and it's very difficult to recover things like highlights, so the bright points in the sky, for example. It's really difficult to recover those in a JPEG file. Instead, they end up looking horrible. Yeah, and you get just nasty skies and nasty muddy shadows, that kind of stuff. But today isn't ideal for photography. I mean, today actually on that point, today's a good day for shooting waterfalls and rivers, that kind of thing, because the light's very flat. But for landscapes it's not great because there's none of that contrast. As you can see, just flat light, grey, dark, gloomy. But it does work well for water shots, moving water generally, as opposed to the sea. So yeah, it's just getting back here, and I've seen some amazing stuff. The great crested grebe, which is quite a rare sight, and I was so chuffed when I just saw it bobbing along on the water, and I've just been watching it for ages. I've got quite a few pictures of it. I'm watching the terns again, diving for their dinner, like they were doing yesterday. And again, that's a wonderful sight. There's one over there just flitting around, probably waiting, preparing for its next dive. There it goes, down. There it goes. No, changed its mind, look. Is it going to go? There we go. Splosh. Just a lovely sight, isn't it? You probably can't see it very well on there, but it's just wonderful to watch this stuff. And my worries and feelings and stress melt away when I'm outdoors doing this. Like I said yesterday, there it goes again. No, changed its mind. And it's just fabulous. The worries of life and the stresses and the strains. There's no expectations when you come out and do this. You know, I come here, sit, and let the wildlife come to me. Just let it come to me, and it will come to you. You know, if you sit here patient enough. I mean, all right, it helps when it's not blowing a gale and chucking it down, like it so often is here in North West Wales. Whoosh, probably heard that one but didn't see it. Yeah, you can. And another. Sorry, I'm getting distracted now, aren't I? This is the thing. Yeah, it's just wonderful. And I've got my cup of coffee, I've got my binoculars here, and I've actually been watching as well, which is another sight I don't see that often, is a pair of eiders, which are a form of duck, but they're quite a large duck, usually found on the sea. They're right in front of me, about probably 250 metres or so out to sea, so I can't see them very well. That noise you just heard, by the way, was one of the terns. So, is that one on camera? I hope so, that was a good one. The wind's died down a bit as well at the moment, so the sea is a lot calmer, and I think that helps the terns to fish, because there's less light refraction through the surface of the water, because it's a lot calmer. And with the tide also being in right now. So, what do you do? What do you do, guys, to take your mind off things? What do you do to stop feeling stressed and stop being worried about everything that's going on in the world right now, or at any point in your life? And I really want to get back into doing this again with the photography, but it will mean I do want to upgrade my gear in time. I can take decent pictures with this. That said, I've taken some very good pictures, so it's not always the camera, you know. You don't always need a really brilliant camera that costs thousands of pounds or dollars. You know, you can shoot good pictures on a mobile phone these days. It's about knowing how to take a picture, and I've been told in the past that I've got the eye to take a picture. It's about framing the shot in your mind before you actually take it, and that kind of stuff. And I love that process. And part of the fun for me is when I get home, I take the raw files off the camera and then develop them as well in the digital darkroom, as it were. Just wonderful. And I know these videos may not seem that interesting to you guys, but I found inspiration from other people's YouTube videos just by listening to their daily rambles or vlogs, and I'm quite tempted to do that now. Might not always be here, might be indoors sometimes, or I might be on the move, you know, walking. So I might actually start taking my gimbal out with me so I can film on the camera and keep it stable. I am shooting at 60 frames a second at the moment, by the way, but it is on a tripod, so there's no video stabilization on that phone at 60 frames. It's only at 30 frames with video stabilization, which will make the file size bigger, but hey, it's quality, isn't it? Splush, there's another one. Not really seeing anything catch anything yet, though. But it's still fantastic to watch. They're so artful, they're so adept at what they do. You can see them just watching, and then they'll circle, they'll drop down, they might have a second thought, oh no, I'm going to miss, and then they'll suddenly swoop up again, just above the surface of the water, and then they'll go back up, and they'll make another attempt. Just absolute pleasure to watch, it really, really is. Doesn't matter that it's a grey, gloomy day. I don't feel gloomy. I feel quite happy, sat here. You know. But that grebe is coming closer again. I need it to come a bit closer so I can get some more, well, I say light. So I can get some more light onto it to get some better shots. So it's just dive down again. It'll probably pop up somewhere else. So there we go, guys. That's all I wanted to really waffle about today. Just a couple of little bits. This is the second attempt at recording this, by the way, because something came through on the phone and actually stopped the video from working, from recording, which was really annoying. So if it's done it again this time, I'm going to be annoyed again, so I'm going to have to do it again. I don't have a script, guys. I just say what's on my mind. That one's getting quite vocal. Shouting for the fish to come to the surface, maybe. Oh, changed its mind, see? You know when it's going to dive, because it'll suddenly stop flapping its wings and do a really sharp turn in the air and just go straight down. Similar to what gannet does. Gannet is another kind of seabird, much larger seabird. But those are expert fishermen. Fisher-birds. Fisher-persons. Right, I'm going to stop recording. Thankfully, for you guys listening to me witter on. Thanks for watching today, guys. It's much appreciated. I know I'm just waffling on, but it helps to air these things sometimes for me personally, especially at times when we can't see a lot of people. But yeah, it is much appreciated. I would like to keep doing these. Maybe not every day, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Yeah. And those eiders are just coming back now, and that grebe is getting much closer, so I want a closer shot of it, because it'll be sharper if I can shoot it with less zoom on the camera. So there we go. So thanks, guys. I hope you're keeping well. I hope you're getting out in the air, in the wildlife, in the nature, wherever you are, being kind to each other. Yeah. So look after yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one. So for now. Sploosh. Look at them.